Hi, my name is Tessa Ward, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself and my family. I grew up in England and I immigrated to the United States and took us 7 years to become legal residents here. I am married to David, an English literature teacher at Northeast High School, and I have three beautiful elementary age daughters, all very different from each other, 11, 8, and 5. And this is part of my desire to want to come closer to home, is to work in Pinellas County, and more importantly to work in a faith-based organization in Pinellas County with the educational experience that I've built here from Hillsborough County. So a little bit about my salvation experience. I became saved at 7. I rededicated my life at the age of 15. That was at Temple Heights Baptist Church. I committed to ministry, full-time missions. I was sold out for Christ, and I was in attendance at Temple Heights Christian School there for years, through my 9th grade year, and then I went to public school 10th through 12th. Loved the church, loved the school, and have many fond memories, and I felt like it was a real foundation to who I was, my identity in Christ, and my social friends that I made, and the culture that I really took with me when I graduated was all based upon the fact that I had such a strong foundation, and I believe in being a part of that as an educator today. My current spiritual growth, and I'm working my way through the literal reading of Bible verses through the Bible, and I have a book that I'm studying also that's on the side that is leading me to see things through a different light. From an educational standpoint, I'm looking at Baruti Cafelli book. He is got some great questions as a principal, as an assistant principal, of what we should be asking of ourselves, as well as what we should be asking of others. And so I'm really enjoying taking that into my heart, as well as looking at the 7 mindsets. And that's something that social emotional learning is something that's very close to my heart. My oldest daughter is a family foster. She is my great niece, and so we've been foster trained, my husband and I, and so we talk a lot about trauma, and I use everything that I've learned in the school system, whether it was outside or in, and every child that I interact with, I'm seeing things from the different lenses and things that I've learned. So as a foster parent and someone that has dealt with trauma practices, I feel like that's really enabled me to have a great love and grace for students that are hurting, and all students. So I think my number one passion is to break down barriers and champion causes. And I spread that in a 360-degree leadership. So I work with the people above, I work with all stakeholders, and I work with students to see their identity and how they can help develop their identity and work through their barriers and champion them as they succeed. And how can we make sure you succeed? And so that's a constant conversation I have with my students, as well as myself, as well as my teachers. This is something that's just an ongoing dialogue, and it's something I really enjoy. So that's why I happen to be in the position that I'm here at Jefferson High School. I'm climate and culture resource. Last year, Hillsborough County had this huge turnover. There was cuts at every single high school. I happened to be the last one in at Freedom High School. I'd been there for 2 years as assistant principal, and when the cuts were made, it was simply because I was the last one in. Loved Freedom. It was a long commute, so I'm always looking for something that's a lot closer to home, and so I was super excited to get this position at Jefferson that allowed me to have a much shorter commute and to really work with my heart. Developing students, developing teachers, bringing staff and administrators together. So that is something that I think, technology, is a part of the decisions that I make, is all about finding peace. And when you think, well, why would you want to be at Northside? Because everything that I've interacted with Northside has always been a rich cultural history at Northside. So I was a youth director at Featherstone Church, and a lot of students went to Northside, a lot of parents were Northside parents, and they always had such great things to say about the family that you created at Northside. When I was at Temple Heights, we competed with Northside, and we always had some great rivalries. And I know several teachers that work there now that just love the family that you've created, and I would love to be a part of that family. And bring what I've seen from this outside position inside, and so we can have some really transparent dialogues. So with regards to Coming to Northside, I would like to offer the fact that I have this passion for students. I meet students where they're at. It doesn't matter where they come from. It only matters where they're going, and let's figure out how we meet them where they're at to push them beyond wherever they're at. So whatever level they're coming in at, everyone needs to keep working on themselves, and how do we find success for that student. Again, going back to that mantra, breaking down barriers and championing causes, I believe that we are a team. It's not by one person's sole effort to make anything successful. It is literally the team that happens. But it's my job as an administrator to make sure that we lead the teams and that we give them the support they need and take away those barriers. So thank you so much for your time. I look forward to meeting with you soon.